Hey everybody, my name is Andrew Peterson,
Hey, I'm Chris Wall,
and we are two of the executive producers of
the Wingfeather Saga animated series.
And we are here in my office here in Nashville, Tennessee. And for the live stream tonight, we wanted to talk about a brand new book that just came out. There's so many fun things that are happening right now. I actually went onto theangel.com to the store the other day because I was like, what do they have? And I spent like $60 on hoodies and stuff. It may sound funny to you that we have to buy the stuff, but we want to support the show too.
That's right.
Anyway, so yeah, there's all kinds of fun product. The last fun thing was the Art of book, which we promoted, and it is beautiful.
Man, if you guys haven't seen the Art of book, and by the way, there's some reviews on Amazon for the Art of book, which you should read.
They're I haven't fantastic. Looked at those.
Yeah, y'all have been really kind to us. That's out in the world, and I can't believe it's out in the world. I handed a copy to Keith Lango. He's on our team, CG animation supervisor. And I handed him that and the DVD Blu-ray thing, and he went, "Wow, this is real."
Yeah,
like something about cool. Holding it, the physicality.
Yeah, and for Keith to be moved like that's saying something. He's awesome. Anyway, yeah. So there's been a lot going on. The Wingfeather Art of book is it's big, thick, beautiful, glossy pages. Coffee table book that we actually just went in to try to find our copy for this live stream, and Jamie said that we have given all of our copies away because we just are so excited about people seeing this. So all that to say,
which by the way, around the office, I forgot to tell you, so it's yearbook time. So everybody's been passing around the Art of books that they all have.
Oh yeah, that's
and
fun.
like, would you sign it? Would you sign it? Would you sign it?
I want a copy that's signed by everybody.
I was like, oh man, I got to get a copy. I haven't done it at all.
Oh, we need to do that.
It's really smart.
Yeah.
So you could do that too if you ever want to accost
I wish
us.
we'd spent more time together. Good luck with the girls. That's what all my friends wrote. Gosh, I wish we'd known each other better. Good luck with the girls. Whatever that means. Anyway.
Hey, in the store, new stuff that I just heard on the way here. We're gonna have 2 Christmas ornaments this year. So there's a cool wooden set, and then the cowbell is back. And then the really cool Wingfeather T-shirt, it's been the most popular by far, is now a hoodie.
Which I just got one. I just ordered one.
Man alive.
Super cool.
And then
socks.
if you there's a set of socks too. So cool.
Yeah,
I love this because not having ways to kind of show off your favorite show for so long. Now having some really cool things. Your favorite book series and show, right?
Yeah.
The other one that's in there is that green Wingfeather sweatshirt. It's been there for a bit. We have one at the office. It's super comfy. Okay. Like it's different than the other ones.
Not the hoodie, just the regular.
The regular
sweatshirt.
one.
Yeah.
It's like real soft on the inside. So
That's
it's
so
pretty
cool.
great. And then there's other new stuff coming. A lot of people have been asking about the figurines so soon. We did the pre-order for those a year ago, and then the manufacturer that we were using went out of business. Bum deal. They had to find a new, and it just went out. But we're not going to announce them until they're literally in the warehouse this time.
So then we don't.
They're almost literally in the warehouse. So just know that's not a lost project. We're super geeked out about it.
Yeah, awesome.
It's just been a thing. And then there's one other piece that's coming. Oh, plush. Yeah, so there is a toothy cow and a squeebling coming. Anyways, next week we're going to talk more about it in the live stream. We have a really cool kind of rollout of all this fun stuff that you should think about for your Christmas wish list, I suppose.
Pretty fun.
It's
so much fun stuff. So all that to say, one fun thing is that Penguin Random House, the publisher of the proper Wingfeather Saga, the 4-book series and the ancillary stuff, they published Creaturepedia, and somebody over there was like had the idea for another what is the word for it? I can never think of the word. Ancillary or like accessory. It's like an accessory to the stories. And so what the idea that came was a Ranger's Guide to Glipwood Forest. And so it was a really fun project. And it didn't actually, I thought about it for a long time because I was wrestling with like what the right angle was. And I remember, side note, like I remember doing this with the first Wingfeather book. I was trying to write the story and I couldn't find the angle. I couldn't find the way in or like what my voice was going to be. And then at some point I stumbled on that whole like, they look exactly like humans, except also they have tails. That whole idea was kind of like, oh, there's a way to talk about the world that gets us into the door, And so I was doing the same thing with the Ranger's Guide. I couldn't think of like the right angle on how to get into the story.
Yeah.
Until I thought about the fact, I'm actually going to show you guys. This is improvised. But one of my favorite things to do is when I am in the UK, is walking footpaths in the UK. And so there are these books. So here's one, a copy that I have. The green ones are the best ones. Outstanding Circular Walks for the UK, Britain's best loved walking guides. And in them, they've got these maps and they've got little step-by-step descriptions of how you walk this like 6-mile circular walk through the countryside. And it'll say, just past this farm, you'll see a stile, which is like a little a pass-through a fence. And it tells you there's an Iron Age stone fort to your left, or this manor that you see was once lived in by Winston Churchill or whatever. And so that was the angle. I was like, what if there was a book like this, only it told you how to navigate Glipwood Forest? And so
okay, pause. Yeah. So here's the thing. So I haven't read the book yet. I'm so sorry, Andrew, but I can't wait to read it. But what you may not know about me is for the past 16 years. Mm-hmm. I am a scoutmaster with our local troop.
Oh, yeah.
And so we love learning about how to navigate spaces. So like this winter in January, we'll go back up to Minnesota in the winter and try to survive on the ice for a week.
You are insane.
After Christmas.
He did that, was it last year or the year before?
Yeah. It's so scary. So I love these kind of things. So I am super excited about Glipwood Forest because working on the series side, as we've talked about the forest, like, the dangers and look out.
Yeah.
That you now have a guide for how to survive.
There's a guide, yes. It's like the ultimate scoutmaster.
So if I finish this guide and I'm proficient at it, can I get a rank?
Can you get a rank?
Yeah, so like I would earn an Eagle Scout rank if I'm really good at scouting.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. You just survive. That's the whole thing. Your rank is living member of the human race.
Okay.
So I just flipped open this book randomly to this page, Arundel Park and South Stoke. So Arundel, there's the village, and it's south of London, and that's where George MacDonald lived when he was a pastor for a short time. Anyway, and that's where I got the name Arundel, who was in book 4. She lives in Clovenfast. Yeah. So just a little Easter egg. So in that spirit, we published a Ranger's Guide to Glipwood Forest. So
which has this great shiny cover, by the way.
It is a wonderfully embossed
cover.
It's got
the and they'll note the toothy cow has a really cool eye.
There is a toothy cow down here, yes, and that is actually a scene from part of the book. But Aiden Peterson illustrated it, and he did such a great job. I don't have my copy of Creaturepedia, but we wanted it to look really cool on the shelf next to Creaturepedia. Totally. And Aiden illustrated. I mean, he drew probably 50 or 60 really great sketches. So the star of the show. So I'll say this: last night was the book release.
Yes.
And we did it in Franklin at Landmark Books, which is a wonderful bookstore.
Books and Crannies, basically.
Yep, we kind of modeled parts of Books and Cranny after the vibe of this bookstore. Great people. So anytime you're in Franklin, please stop in. They've got a great collection of Rabbit Room books and Wingfeather stuff. And so anyway, we did the signing. We signed 550 books last night, and it was fine because we were so happy.
Okay.
Because I'm sitting there next to Aiden, my son, who's 25 now. He's a dad and possibly my favorite illustrator in the world, like objectively, and to get to sit next to this man that I had the honor of raising and sign these books together and meet all these families. So check this out. On the inside of the book, Aiden, the conceit of the book is that it is narrated by this guy named Owen Groverly and illustrated by his son Jonas Ponius Groverly. And so that is me with the most awesome scar and battle gear. Look at that guy.
You look amazing. You look like you would be in Game of Thrones, man.
It is amazing. And Aiden's like, Mr. Artiste with his cool hair.
Who came up with his name? Jonas, was that you?
The author came up with it. But that was one of Aiden's nicknames when he was a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonas Ponies. And
so good.
So anyway, all that to say, that's the
Wait, is there an intro by Alistair?
Yeah, Alistair Pembroke writes the foreword.
Of course he does.
And this is an edition that he
Do you change your voice tense for these? Okay.
Yeah.
So you did this, we were talking about this last night with some of the fans that were there. I was the guy that was entertaining in line. I was like, don't pay attention to long lines. Andrew will see you soon. You may now see Andrew. That's literally what I was doing. But we were talking about how you're so good at voice tense, particularly in book 4 when you're clearly in Janner's kind of POV, and then you move outside at this pivotal moment. And everybody, and a number of dads who read aloud were like, "Oh yeah, I remember that moment," and I started to cry.
Cool. Wow.
And And we've talked about this, our love of Stephen Lawhead, fulfilling a lot of boyhood fantasies for Arthurian legend. He did voice 10s, right? With Merlin and then Karis and so forth.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, it's delightful.
It is pretty fun. Yeah, it's a good excuse to do it. I can read you a part of it if you want me to.
Please do.
So part of the foreword, far have I wandered, deep have I sought, high have I clomb, wide have I spied, low have I crawled, slithered, scooched, and flopped. What, you may wonder, have I sought in my great seeking? Love, of course, but other than that. Treasure? Nay. Security? Fame? Nay and nay again. Adventure? Partly, but only as a consequence of a greater quest. Rest? Most certainly. But the repose I sought was possible only after finding that which I could not find, but eventually did find in a way I could not fathom. Glipwood Forest has long been both the object and the thwarting of my quest, for I sought not just Glipwood Forest, but its essence. That one thing it is. Well, to be clear, I have sought many other things, but in the category of ancient forests and their secrets, Glipwood's essence was the top secret I sought. Anyway, that's the idea, and that's him. And then we kick over to Owen Groverly, who is the founding member of the Gorg, the Glipwood's original Rangers Guild. And so there's all kinds of great illustrations, like Trendon Wayne, who's the leader of the Gorg. It was a blast. So what I was going to say earlier was that one of the things about writing this book was there was no pressure. I wasn't trying to tell the most epic story in the world. I had already built the world, and I just got to go play in it. Mm-hmm. And so it was just a total blast. I got to do the thing like with Pembroke, where I felt like I was 12 again, and I got to just be as gross as I wanted and as weird and zany as I wanted, and also try to tell a real story in the process. So,
were you thinking about your demographic and their reading ability? And
no.
Use of conjectures.
No. Conjunctions, whatever. Anyway, I wasn't. I was just having a great time.
That's one of the things I love about the art that you create, Andrew, both in your writing and in your music, is that you follow your muse, right? You follow hey, what makes this fun for me? Within the constraints of, like in this case, Wingfeather Saga, the world, but you're just playing, and it is delightful as a reader, to feel that. And I mean this in the most honorable way, but we're reading back through Narnia with my younger kiddos, and we're in Dawn Treader right now, and actually we just finished last night. And he does that, right? Lewis is like, whatever, I'm just going to tell you my little asides. Later, I don't know if I figured this out, but if I do, I'll tell you. You know?
Sure.
Those kind of I'm just in here. There's no I got to follow some rules of this while honoring the form. It doesn't mean you're just completely rogue.
Well, I would say that with the Wingfeather Saga proper, with the 4 books, yes, you're having fun and there's asides, whatever, but there's also this feeling kind of floating over your head that this story has to work. You've got to, if you're gonna untie a knot here, you got to make sure you have retied that knot up in 400 pages. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pressure just to make sure that you've done it right. And of course, nobody does it perfectly. But that's the thing that's on your mind. Is how do I? And with a Ranger's Guide to Glipwood Forest, I'm just let's go look over there. Let's see what's around this corner, So there just wasn't any pressure, which meant that it was super fun. And then, lo and behold, there ends up being a little story arc and characters that you find, One of my favorite things that happened in there was I got to visit Ankle Jelly Caverns, which was a mine where some people were digging and they gave up because they didn't find anything. And in the guide, they passed through the forest and they spend the night in this cavern that was dug out. And he says, yeah, this would be a nice place to hide a trove of weapons one day if anybody ever built a house here. So super fun little Easter eggs like that, because this all happens
how far back?
Hundreds of years. No, I don't know specifically, but it's in the second epic, as opposed to the third, which is when the events of the Wingfeather Saga happen.
And Alistair's part of third epic, right? Or is he part of second?
That's a question for Madam
I think Seidler. He would probably likely bridge. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember for sure. I got very confused by my own story in the footnotes because I was just kind of making them up. So-and-so wrote this in the second epic. And by the time I got into it, it turned into a math problem, which is not one of the 3 honored and great subjects. And so I kind of checked out a little bit.
You could just say, dear Madam Seidler, solve this, please.
She's amazing. She's like an encyclopedia, and she kind of knows all the answers.
Were there parts of the story, I'm just curious, obviously I'm sitting here with the animated series in mind, were there parts of the writing of this that were at all informed by some of the things that had come to life there on screen?
That's a good question.
You've mentioned some of the creatures, obviously, in Ankle Jelly.
Yeah, there's creatures obviously. And stuff. Well, it's funny. It's hazy to me because the show it looks so much like what the books look like in my mind.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't think
it's cyclical, anyways, because we're we're clearly feeding off of what you've written to make these visuals.
Yeah, I don't think there was much in there, but at this point, it's all the same to me.
It's all in the canon, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, Wingfeather Tales then stories that others wrote in the space, kind of informed some of those choices, including Jonathan Rogers' little bard, right?
Right.
What, if anything, was the most challenging part of pulling this together? Was there a thing that was like, oof, that was...
Well, it was honestly, like I said, finding
just
the angle.
Way in. Yeah.
Like that's how my music works too. It's like you can have an idea for a song, and I'll walk around for 2 months thinking, okay, there's the idea. How do I get into it? What's the angle? What's the trick?
Okay, that's so I have a question right away based on the map. So there's a map. It's awesome. This is great information.
Yeah.
Good. I wasn't confident if there was a South Glipwood and a North Glipwood forest.
Yeah, there is.
Because a question came up about whether one might encounter a toothy cow in this northern one, and there was like, well, I don't know. I mean, they're in the south one, but
there are fewer in the north.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the towns of Dugtown and Torboro still exist in this one. Okay. Are there stranders?
Glipwood was just the little fishing hamlet.
Just a fishing hamlet at this point. Okay,
Glipwood
Village you called it.
So it wasn't quite a town yet. And then...
Miller's Bridge.
Legit,
right?
There.
I mean, they're just, because in this epoch it was like a thing.
Yep, and the ruins, so in Northerby Eaton, when the family makes it across Miller's Bridge and they set up camp and there's these ruins around them, we get to visit those ruins. It's the Fen Gap Observatory, which is like a very cool. Scientific observation. And
we just saw that location in the mix of episode 2 today.
Today we were mixing episode 2. Yeah, it's super fun. So yeah, man, it was just like a blast to like. I've said this before, but the hardest part of writing a book is the first draft. And the world building part of it, you do all of this work, but now it feels like I've spent about 20 years in and around Aerwiar, and so getting to explore it got me excited about the possibility of trying to do another one of these guidebooks, because Owen Groverly ends up, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a suggestion that he might have written a book called The Ranger's Guide to the Dune Lands, which is all the I love watching you just flip through it. That's Henry Chad.
He's awesome.
Ranger's Guide to like the Woes of Shreve and that kind of thing. So
Woes of Shreve.
It would be fun to do that.
So the sectioning, it looks like we get some character introductions, some bits and pieces, and then into section 1.
Yeah, section 1 is the first chunk of it. I will tell you the one fun thing is the list of supplies, which the scout and you will love. Because it says
we have our 10 essentials, of course.
Before we set out, you've got to have your essential gear. So, for example, a folding shovel will prove most beneficial in 3 ways. First, any plant expedition will require a shovel for obvious reasons. Digging up a Glipwood sapling with one's bare hands is hardly enjoyable and takes approximately 7 hours. I made that mistake only once. Second, a proper folding shovel, when the blade is locked perpendicularly to the shaft, makes for a sublime sitting utensil when no log or rock is available. Lastly, folding shovels are nifty and will delight those who have never seen one. I recommend Hergel's Foldy Things in North Torboro, where you can find folding swords, folding chairs, folding pants, folding spoons, folding sandwiches, and folding towels at excellent prices. And there's a little asterisk in the footnote that says, mention me and you might receive a free folding map. So, yeah, there's a list of supplies, essential gear. There's also a section about, like, sword, making sure that your sword is monogrammed in case you die so people will know that it was yours. And it says... the monograms. Oh, well, here's a good example of like how the show influenced it. It says, where is it? I gotta find. I'll just read it. Here's the little section on why you need a sword. If your father didn't give you one when you turned 14, be sure to visit the Armory Market in the Dockside Slope neighborhood of Torboro, where you can purchase one to your liking. Ideally, it will be decorated with runes, filigree, and mystery. Pay a little extra to have your name or initials engraved on the blade. First, this gives you a way to claim it if the sword is ever lost or stolen, and second, one of your descendants may find it hidden in a secret chamber in your cellar and feel fluttery in their tummy when they see your name. One never knows, so it pays to be thorough. Oh, and then one fun thing is he recommends, if you wish to have your name monogrammed on the blade, visit David Della Giardelli at Oboyo Smithery in Dougtown. David Della Giardelli,
yes.
I think is how he said it, is the guy that designed the sword in the first Thor movie.
Thor movie.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Heimdall, is that his name?
I think so.
The guy that's
the guy
like
that twists the thing and
yeah. What's his name? Idris Elba's character. So he's the guy that designed that, and he was friends with Justin Gerard, who illustrated some Wingfeather stuff, and I got to know David. And so I went out to his forge, where he actually forges swords, and he made this. I've never gotten to really show anybody this. Hold on.
Oh, you do have it. See, I was like, I thought you had one, but I couldn't remember. I haven't seen this.
This was one of the Kickstarter rewards. Check this out, y'all. This is an official Wingfeather sword with what was the Anirian crest on it. It's like got the handle on it. I mean, how cool is that? Like, we wanted to get him to make a sword for the Kickstarter rewards, but you can't make weapons. You can't.
They wouldn't.
Weapons
Yeah,
are
that
not
was the
allowed.
thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot that. Yeah.
So anyway, so he made this, and I thought I put a little Easter egg so that he's the guy that monograms swords. But he doesn't know that yet. So he's out there making his swords, and he has no idea.
He probably doesn't watch these things.
He's in a footnote. Anyway, that's the thing. I can't wait to see how kids like it.
Yeah, that's great. Do you? People keep asking this question. You know, are you going to keep writing Wingfeather Saga? And the answer is no. The story is done. But this kind of little side diversion. You did a short story in Wingfeather Tales. Mm-hmm. Does it make you want to write a little short story like that again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're working on a kid's book version of that short story, The Prince of Yorshadoon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even writing this, I was thinking like, oh man, it would be really fun to pick one of these characters and tell their story. So yeah, that's how the creative process works. Like once one idea leads to the next idea, there's the well is bottomless, you know. And so one of these days I'd love to do it, but I need a little bit of time first. Things are crazy.
Well, I can't wait to read it.
Thanks.
Sorry I didn't get to read it before we got in here, but
I have to say again, I'm so proud of Aiden. Like, he just knocked it out of the park, and you know, this is like a New York team. Some of the people are involved at Penguin Random House and Waterbrook Press. Great team of people. And I nobody ever said this, but in my mind I'm like, I wonder if when they saw on the contract that my son was going to be doing the illustrations, if they were going to be like, well, okay, we got to kind of let his son do it. And man, to see their reactions to his drawings was just a total delight.
Yeah, I didn't ask him here out of charity. The guy can bring it. Yeah, and you know, Aiden, of course, is also working on the Wingfeather Saga animated series. And does the same. Like, I'll often be in reviews, and they don't tell me who the art is because that helps to not, be biased. And I'll be like, man, that's gorgeous. And I'm like, yeah, it's one of Aiden's.
It's so awesome.
Or Natalie.
And Natalie, his wife,
she will bring it in.
Is also an amazing artist. She has a kids book coming out very soon. So excited.
Well, this is out in the world at all your favorite retailers, and I can't wait to get the guide in my kids' hands too.
There are so many Easter eggs in this book. So one of these days I will, if there's time for it. We don't have time, but there are so many Easter eggs that I would love to share with you.
Well, you've highlighted a couple already, so that's great.
Yeah.
All right, so we are, of course, hard at work on season 2. We have a couple things that are coming up very quickly. Season 3 is in production now, which is hard to get a head around, but it's been in for 2 weeks now in storyboarding, and so we're deep on that. And we got some casting that we're going to be doing coming up for all the new characters that are part of that season, including a character named Timber, which I can't wait to think about who that's going to be. Actually, have our first audition in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fun.
From one of our existing actors. And lots more fun stuff planned for as we go through the winter, building up to early spring when season 2 will arrive.
Yes.
And we, like I said, so you're like, wait, if you're mixing episodes, why are we not seeing these episodes? So we're putting them into our inventory so that we can kind of roll out all 7 episodes at once, and week to week, right? And so we can have fun doing that together. So we're going to hold those back just a little bit, but we are going to have some fun screening opportunities coming up, where we're going to get to have some of you get to watch some episodes even a little bit early, and gauge what you think of them, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So pay attention to that.
I'm just going to hold this shield while we're talking.
Just be cool and hold it. Thank you. By the way, I found out in the store, our best-selling item in the store is Pay It Forward.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
wow, that's amazing.
Way back in the day when you and I were first introduced to Angel Studios, and this whole process was like, no, the content's free, and there's like a tip jar on the out, right? So you watch a show, you're like, I like this, and I want there to be more of it. There's Pay It Forward, which basically means, here, please keep making this show. And that has been by far our best-selling item.
That's amazing.
People
I had
just
no
keep
idea.
doing it. Even if they're buying something, they'll throw a little something in the Pay It Forward. So thank you. That is what's keeping us rolling forward.
It's amazing.
Making the cool show. The show continues to find new audiences around the world. We'll have announcements coming up very soon about new places that the show has been translated into and is going to be released into. It's just incredible. Yeah, and we so appreciate all of your support and continued interaction. You guys keep telling people about it. We also know that there's a whole lot of people, I met a bunch of them last night at the store actually, that have not watched the show yet. That are just like, yeah, I read the books. I got to watch the show sometime. And so we're going to be doing some work to help bring those people in to say, hey, come watch it. If you haven't seen it yet, really watch the show. It's a lot of fun. Is it different than the books? Yeah, but not so much.
Right.
And so give it a look. It's free to watch, and the more people that watch it, the better that word of mouth gets around. We got some new trailers for season 1. Yeah. That will help kind of pull people in. If you haven't watched it yet, come watch these. And so we're going to show those next week. They're really cool because those got to pull from all of season 1 now.
Right. The first trailer, all we had finished was a couple episodes,
just
right?
A little bit, yeah.
And so we couldn't, now it's just a great trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, so our friends...
they make me want to hide behind my shield.
Daniel Kiedis and our friends at Evolve helped pull that together with Angel Studios, and they're awesome. And then lastly, we have a music video that we have filmed with Jody Benson that's coming very soon. That's just kind of a cool behind-the-scenes thing.
Jody is so great.
It's coming really soon. So lots more to come this fall. Even though the show, season 2 is still out there, we have lots of cool stuff to entertain you with as we go, including a fantastic book like Ranger's Guide to Glipwood Forest.
Oh, I also just found out, kind of a side note, but the books are... I just saw a cover somebody posted on Instagram of the Ukrainian edition of On the Edge. A translation, there's a Hungarian one, and I just was emailing with the Korean publisher who's working on the Korean, like some kind of book trailer-y kind of thing for the Korean edition. Cool. Anyway, I like every now and then I just get these little pings, emails from people, and I'm like, when is somebody going to send me a copy of the whatever version? I have to like chase it down because it's a long way to mail. But it's really cool, and a lot of those people have also discovered the show. Yep. Because the show just has this massive reach. So thank you guys for
our friends at Three Bohemians in Czech Republic have a publisher that's working on a Czech version.
Oh, a Czech version, very cool. Wow.
They were very excited. A few of our good friends that helped bring a bunch of the animation team together for season 1 and 2 are based in Prague, and so he's been lobbying, and so they are actually underway now.
So cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks y'all for joining tonight. It's good to have you.
Thanks y'all for joining. Wait. Thanks for joining. I'm so sorry. That didn't work as well as I thought it would.
But is that a cool shield?
Never know. Yeah.
It's great. All right. We will see you all next week.
Yes.
Lots more to share, but take care and have a good evening. Bye.
See ya.
This is my family. Tink loves to take risks. Stay away from the edge. And Laylee?
I'm going.
Is always up for adventure. But we're perfectly free. As long as we do exactly what the Fangs say. 9 years ago, they came from across the dark sea of darkness during the Great War. Here in Glipwood, they didn't even fight back. But I don't remember those days, and life is pretty normal. as long as the fangs are in a good mood, and I don't look silly in front of Sarah Cobbler, and we avoid the dangerous creatures. There's absolutely nothing to fear.
I think he likes me.
Except for the black carriage. It comes at night to take you away. No one knows where to, because no one ever comes back. They took her!
We have to do something to help.
Help? Forget that girl ever existed.
A map? But to what?
Ankle Jelly Manor.
We have to find the Florid Sword. He's the only one who can get her back.
Mag wants one thing: the jewels of Anira.
That was close.
What was close?
Jenner, Lily, Tink!
There must be a clue in the map.
No, Papa!
Esben Wingfeather.
Stay in goal this time and bounce their slingers. When they mook their whackers, I'll jake those beans crossfield to Janner, who will already have skittered around their hounders.
Guys, am I still frozen?
Tell me about the jewels.
I'm gonna fight them too. Mr. P!
Remember who you are.
Whatever your plan was, I think we need a better one.
Well, in the immortal last words of General Schnimp, toodles!
Fast to sleep, dark glory in